information, which makes it clear these requests are well within the IRS and other laws in regard to their political involvement. Provide encouragement that this is a duty to become involved politically. It's not only a right, but it's a duty, and biblical in nature. I talk about the talents, the parable of the talents. They were given each a talent. One turned it in, buried it, saved it. One turned his into 5 talents, 1 10. The guy that returned it in 10 talents was rewarded with what? 10 cities. The guy with the 5 talents, he was rewarded with leadership over 5 cities. The guy that only did 1 and buried it, did nothing with it, he was rebuked. So those churches that really are not getting involved, they're going to be rebuked at some point, but basically, it's a biblical duty. Our politics, our political structures predicated on the Bible. This is a biblical duty and a duty as a citizen of the United States. Ensure that voter drive is nonpartisan and volunteers will be registering both Republican, Democrat, and Independent. We don't care, because 78% of them are going to vote our way anyways. And we know that most of them are going to register Republicans, so I don't care. They register whatever way they want. It doesn't matter. Risk. 1, for far too long, pastors have become increasingly disengaged from the political system, and we're seeing the effects. The vacuum that's been left without Christians in office has been filled. It's been filled by people who don't share our values and don't share our belief in this form of government. And this is why we're in this shape. Everything that we're experiencing today can be traced strictly back to that. Every one of our founding fathers, every signatory on the Declaration of Independence said in one way or the other that if we lost our Judeo-Christian values, we would lose our republic. Why was that? They understood, and why, look at our constitutions, how short the Constitution is. And now we have state constitutions that are hundreds of pages long. Why? Because they are trying to legislate good behavior. You can't legislate it. They understood that good men would enact good laws, and bad men would figure out a way to pervert the laws in their favor. Same thing with this compound. I'm against it, and I'm not with you, so I'm going to say something about it. That will destroy and shred the Constitution of the United States. Do you really think that men of this day with this character can enact better laws than the men of our founding days? That's all I put it down to, and that's all I'm going to say on the subject. It's going to be perverted. Good men will enact good laws and keep bad laws from being enacted. This is why we're in the shape we're in. Christians are increasingly being pushed out of the foundational institutions as a result of passive church. And the church as a whole is in a decline, and we're losing souls faster than we're winning them as a result as well. This has an impact on souls, and that is our commission as Christians. As a pastor, we're being held to a higher standard. So this is some of the risk. Just as the parable of the talents, they'll be measured and weighed accordingly. And the risk of losing members as more Christian patriots take their membership and the checkbooks to churches that are willing to fulfill their duty to God and country. This is where we come in. We want to make them know that we're going to post those names of those churches, those patriot pastors, and we are going to urge our membership to attend those types of churches. Now, we were going to do a black list, white list, good church, bad church kind of thing. I've talked to Catherine and some other folks, and some folks had some things. I think what we may do is do a list to encourage, a list of churches that needs further encouragement, or just specify that why is your church not on this list, and then just encourage and drive people to those churches. But we would encourage you to get your membership and those people to go to churches that are willing to take this stand and take back our nation and support them with your membership and your dollars. And that's how we will get those churches that are on the fence to start with. As they see congregants start leaving their churches and start going to these other churches, and then each of the groups, and I've talked to several Tea Party groups and other groups that are willing to push these lists out, and on our website we're going to feature these lists, and we're going to encourage people and have a list of these churches that are willing to stand for these values, so that we encourage the community to start going there, and then you can start working inside your churches. And we figure that the risk-reward, when they start seeing nickels, as Dr. Youngblood always says, it's all about nickels and noses. Well, let's make it about nickels and noses. Let's use it against those churches that are not willing to take a stand, and let's start rewarding those churches that are willing to take a stand. If you have to drive across town, I drive 45 minutes to go to Dr. Youngblood's church. 45 minutes each way, because he stands for the values that I stand for. So put a little extra dollar in your gas, be willing to drive a little further to church, and be willing to give your members, and we'll start winning this war. We don't have very long to do it. Rewards, peace, a divine peace, and knowing that they're fulfilling their responsibility of both God and country. They're going to get recognition and both growth as a result, recognition by local patriot groups and their newsletters and social media, recognition in Christians voting to Save America's website, a hub for patriot organizations to find out if their churches are participating, and growth financially as increased membership And D, pastor recognized as a patriot pastor with an official Black Robe Regiment diploma from the Christians Voting to Save America organization. Now, this organization is not going to be led by me. Actually, I'm going to have a couple ladies, Deborah Binding, Reed, some of you may know, and some others. But this is really going to be a leaderless organization. I don't know if any of you have read the Starfish and the Spider, but you've heard of peer-to-peer, where they used to change on the internet, and all this music went everywhere, went viral, and everybody just kind of shares it. We want this to be kind of a leadership organization. We want you to be the driving force. It's a grassroots, self-replicating, and we're going to design the website where it's self-replicating, where you can just do everything on the hub of the web. So that way it is your organization, and its success depends on you in this room, and the success of our country depends on patriots that are willing to go out and be liaisons in their churches and to do these measures. That's my personal opinion. This is where my heart's been telling me to do for a couple of years, and we finally just said, hey, we've got to do it now. There's not a lot of time. I hope you guys will encourage you to go to, right now I have a Facebook page. I put nothing on it, but you can go to Google, Facebook, and Christians Voting to Save America to find that. And I do have the website saved, ChristiansVotingToSaveAmerica.com. So please write that down. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have a website up and running. Thank you for all your help.